Hi everyone, my name is Chelsea. Welcome to Little Mountain Ranch. I'm really happy to have you here with me today. Hello, Oakley. How's it going, bud? Sweet boy, look at your sweet ears. What a love you are. Hello, Maple. Hey, sweetheart. Oh my goodness. Oakley is such a gem. Those two, honestly, they're so sweet. So remember back when I lost Fireweed. Fireweed was my milk cow. She was born and raised here on this property. And she died. We still don't know what it was that ended up killing her in the end, but she passed away, I think it was 3 or 4 days after she had her calf. And because we had Patty, we didn't have any other cows in milk at the time, so we went looking for a new milk cow. And we actually ended up bringing 3 new cows home from a dairy down, I think it was in Salmon Arm, if I remember correctly. Anyways, so we have Milkweed, who I'm currently milking. She is a love. She adopted Patty and has been an absolutely fantastic mom. And then we had Honey, who was in milk when we brought her home, but we had to dry her off, which means to stop milking her over a period of time so that she could have a chance to just put all the energy she needed to into growing the calf that she had in her belly. So we were told that she was bred for a May calf. May came around, no calf. June came around, no calf. And then, hi sweetie. And then 2 days ago, she had a beautiful calf. So this little man here, this is Oreo. Sweet boy. Isn't he adorable? He's actually a little bit shy compared to Patty. Hi, little man. Oh, good scratches. Hello, good morning. How are you? Such a sweetie. So he has 4 white socks, and on both his back legs he has this pattern. So he is a Holstein cross. His sire was a Holstein, so he obviously takes after that side of the genetic pool. And Miss Honey over there did a wonderful job with him. No issues at all. Where are you, Patty? I can hear you over there. What are you doing over there? You're not supposed to be out there. Somebody did not put the hot wire over the gate entrance when they went through it this morning, so the hot wire is not on, and Patty has decided to come out and wander around the hayfield. Hi, buddy. I know, where is everybody, huh? This is the friendliest calf we have ever had. Come here, buddy. Come on. Good boy. Let's go find your mom. She's got to be out here somewhere. Yes, that's right. Go this way. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on, mister. That's it. Hi, pretty girl. She's forming a nice udder. I suspect that Thistle has another month to go before she ends up having her calf, but she is forming a nice udder. Can you see that? She has some serious attitude though. She's not the friendliest cow in the world. My plan is to get her trained up to be a family milk cow, and then I'll probably sell her. Although I am hopeful that she has a heifer calf, because I do want to raise up a replacement milk cow for our farm. Okay, got her up over in this pen up here. So I'll leave her up there and then get her moved into the main pen in a little bit when I have some helpers. I have a ton of work to do in the garden today. I've been slowly plugging away on the garden and getting on top of all the weeds that I shared with you that had accumulated in my garden after about a month of quite a bit of absence from the ranch. So the potato patch and the onion patch and the carrot patch are just about finished, but the main garden is still in a pretty serious state of weed infestation. But that's not where we're going to be focusing our attention today. Today, we're going to be focusing our attention on harvesting some things that need to be harvested out of the garden and doing some work in the high tunnel. Onion patch, pretty well weeded. Potato patch, I still have a bit more weed whacking to do along the edge, but the potato patch is actually fairly well weeded, but the potato patch is getting there, slowly but surely. The last section that I have to do is the carrots, and I'm pretty sure this patch of carrots is just not going to do much for me this year. If my carrot patch up there does not produce carrots, I will just buy my carrots in bulk in the fall and store them in my root cellar. I do have another patch of carrots down in the main garden. That's looking pretty good. There will be some fresh carrots from my own garden, but probably not very many. Oh, my main garden makes me so happy. Quite a few weeds in there, but it is looking beautiful. So excited to actually do some harvesting out here. You guys are not going to believe this. Look at this. This is frost damage from July 1st. I cannot believe it. And the craziest part is that during the daytime, it was over 25 degrees Celsius and we still got frost. Pretty unbelievable. Fortunately though, most of the plants are really well established at this point in the year. So even though there was a bit of frost damage, nothing got killed outright. Look at how beautiful everything's looking in here. So one of the things we're going to be harvesting today is this bok choy, because as you can see, it is starting to bolt. So I want to get this harvested. We're going to have a stir fry for dinner tonight, so I'll throw that in my stir fry. Also need to harvest garlic scapes. They are ready for harvesting. I wanted to show you this new apron. It's called a Roo Apron, and I absolutely love it. I have my phone in there, some scissors in there, and then I can harvest right into this, and it has a little bit of stretch, and then I can unhook these. I'll show you when I have it filled up. Unhook these and everything dumps right out into whatever bucket or harvesting pail that I have out in my garden. I am notorious for carrying things, as you know, if you've been here for a couple of years, for carrying things around in my shirt or whatever else I can find, because I'm constantly forgetting to bring down a bucket. So what I've been doing is just putting this on when I come outside, putting whatever it is I need into it. And for some reason, I'm finding this a lot easier to remember than to remember to actually bring a harvesting bucket. So this isn't sponsored or anything. They just sent this to me to try, and I said I would give it a try and let you guys know what I thought of it, and I absolutely love it. So I'll put a link down in the show notes for you for their store. My abundance kale self-seeded all over my garden. Doesn't it look gorgeous? So I'm going to harvest a bunch of this to turn into green powder. My broccoli and my cauliflower over in this part of the garden is just looking absolutely incredible. Oh my goodness, look at that. I might need to harvest a couple of these little ones for the stir fry today. Oh look, there's another little one there. So if you allow the sunlight to hit your cauliflower, you will end up getting a little bit of yellowing. So I always just snap a few leaves over to keep them covered. Definitely going to harvest this one because it's already starting to split out a little bit. I was watering my garden, and sometimes when water gets on your heads, or lots of water, it'll start to do this. So we're going to harvest that one. This one is starting to actually split apart a little bit already, so we'll definitely harvest that one. I'm so excited. This is my other carrot patch that I was mentioning earlier, and these carrots are definitely looking further along than the ones up in the weed garden up there, but they do need a little weeding. Onions are looking fantastic. They do need a little bit of a trim. So with onions, there's a couple of reasons to trim them. If you trim them, it does tend to encourage more growth, and the number of leaves that you have on your onion plant equal the number of rings you're going to have on your onion. So the more leaves, the bigger the onion. So that's one reason. The other reason is that when these start to fall over, it signals to the bulb to stop growing. So if we keep these trimmed down, it tends to keep them growing upright for longer. Another volunteer abundance kale plant. Look at how varied the color is on these. So gorgeous. Definitely a convert to snapdragons. This is the first year I've grown them, and I did start all these guys from seed back in February. So they do take some time, but well worth it. Same with these beautiful giant marigolds. So gorgeous. And the bumblebees love them. Look at that. And then over here, I think I had some broccoli ready. These cabbages are definitely doing well. Look at that gorgeous one. Oh my goodness. Some broccoli. So we'll definitely pull off a few of these broccoli for dinner tonight. We'll come out and do the harvest after we're done doing work in the high tunnel. Let me show you what is happening in the high tunnel. It looks like a jungle in there. Look at my high tunnel. Oh my goodness. Absolute, not at all pruned, not at all trellised high tunnel. This has been running for just about 2 hours, and you can see all the silt in there. So I'm just going to grab my watering can. So that usually flushes a little bit of the silt out. And then I just turn off this. So it's just turned down a little bit, and then actually take this. I need both hands for that. This, which is my pepper patch. And I don't know if you can see peppers in there, but there's also a ton of weeds. So I want to get this bed weeded. I think I'm actually going to start here. What I normally do is I have heaters in my high tunnel, and that helps to keep the temperature up at night. And this would have been a very good year to do that, since it's been so cold at night, blazing hot during the day, but cold at night. And peppers don't like fluctuating temperatures like that, and they certainly don't like getting down below 10 degrees Celsius at night. So yeah, I just think that it might be something else that I'm going to end up needing to buy in the fall, is some peppers. I do try to freeze enough peppers to last us the entire winter, and then into the summer. Peppers are super easy to freeze. You don't have to blanch them or anything. And I've been pretty good at being able to grow enough for us, but I don't think that that's going to be this year. It's going to be a really great year for other things in the garden, just not peppers, potentially not tomatoes. It's hard to say at this point. I don't even have any tomatoes at this point that are even starting to get a blush. Hopefully it's a nice warm rest of the summer with nighttime temperatures getting up there a little bit. That would really help the situation a lot. Okay, let's start with getting this situation taken care of with the weeds in here, and then we'll move on to doing some serious pruning and trellising on those tomatoes. I'm going to give them some plant food here. So this is the brand that I started using last year that I really like. I'll see if I can find it online and put a link for you. But it is a 234 multi-purpose fertilizer. So I'm going to give all of these a little feeding. Oh my gosh, they look so pathetic. Kind of feel like maybe this is a lost cause, but we'll try. Okay, one task down. 10 million more to go. I feel like maybe I should start over here with the Amish paste, because they grow quite tall. So all I use to tie my tomatoes up is some yarn. It's nice because it just pops apart like that. Super easy to rip off in the fall. So as this day increases in temperature, which it's supposed to, we're supposed to get up to 33 today, in here is going to become fairly intolerable. So I think I'll aim to get this row done now, and then maybe I'll come out again tonight and just kind of work on this over the next few days. Good grief. Now, I could leave my tomatoes and just let it be a full-out jungle in here, and all would probably turn out all right in the end. But because the situation this year has just been so difficult as far as the garden goes, just with the temperatures and everything, I want to give my plants the best chance possible of developing and ripening tomatoes. So I'm basically pruning off everything right now that does not have a flowering branch on it, because even if the flowers start forming now and start growing fruit in like another week or so, it's probably not going to have enough time to mature the fruit. So I'd rather give what's on here the opportunity to ripen. I am thoroughly exhausted now, but happy to say we have this entire row done. And that was Dan, and he just came in here and he said, I had no idea that you had to tie tomato plants up to make them go up the side. That just goes to show how much time Dan spends in the garden, which is pretty much this much, unless he's harvesting something. Pardon me, hun? So this is all my basil, and normally I harvest off my basil all summer long so that it doesn't, as you can see here, bolt. And usually if I keep it fairly pruned down, then this bolting holds off until the end of the summer. But because I didn't do that, we have bolting happening. So what I'm gonna actually do here is cut these plants right down to the bottom, right around here, and all of this is still perfectly fine. So I'm gonna go clean this up and use this or freeze dry it for winter. And then by cutting this right down, I'll show you in a couple of weeks what happens. I have some volunteer tomatillos here coming up. So you need 2 tomatillos in order to get them to pollinate. So I let 2 of the volunteers grow, so we might get a few tomatillos this year. So there we go. I'll wait a couple weeks and see how these look. I am really digging this pouch. Fantastic. Okay, now we'll go up to the main garden and get some broccoli, some cauliflower, some cabbage, some bok choy, and maybe some more herbs for the dehydrator. I think we'll grab this little Copenhagen market cabbage. And when you are harvesting cabbages, especially if you don't have a ton of them, you can pull your leaves down and cut the bottom off and then actually leave this, and it will form some little heads around there for later on in the season. And same thing applies for most broccolis. If you cut them off and leave them, they'll form side shoots. You can already see side shoots forming on this one. And I think I'm gonna save harvesting all this garlic escapes until a little bit later on today. But I am gonna grab a few right now for the stir fry. So a benefit of pulling off your scapes is that instead of putting energy into developing the flower head here, your garlic plant will put that, oh, it smells so good. We'll put that energy into developing a bigger bulb. These are already starting to flower. Definitely waited too long to harvest those. Okay, let's grab one of these gorgeous bok choy. Oh my goodness. Look at how beautiful that is. This little pouch can fit a ton of veg. So now I'm gonna waddle my way up to the house and start chopping up all these veggies.
What's it called?
Bok choy.
Yeah, bok choy. That is huge.
I know, it's beautiful. I got cauliflower, garlic scapes.
Oh, definitely going to be making
It's dirty from my hands. I should actually wash my hands before I touch any more of that. Got cabbage.
What?
Broccoli, cauliflower. Dan is just working on the area behind the fridge. We're putting some shiplap up there and then doing some kind of shelf thing there. Right now our fridge is housed over here, but hopefully by the end of the day we'll be able to put it back there. And then for stir fry, I always use the stalks as well. So far it looks pretty good. For worms, we didn't have a ton of cabbage moths this year compared to last year. Last year was insane for cabbage moths. There's a cabbage worm right there. Okay, I am going to make some sauce, and I have a cup of soy sauce in here. I don't have any fresh ginger, so I'm just gonna add a half a teaspoon of ginger, powdered ginger. Instead of garlic, I'm gonna add my garlic scapes. And I'm gonna actually add those in with the veggies instead of in with the sauce. 2 teaspoons of rice vinegar. Whoops, a little bit more. And 2 teaspoons of toasted sesame oil. 2 tablespoons of honey. 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. I'm going to have to heat this up a little bit because my honey is crystallized. And I am frying up some ground pork over here. It's a little bit frozen. And my wok's all set up and my veggies are all washed over here. So far, I don't see any worms except for that one that I pulled out when I was chopping. As I was chopping, I was looking really closely at everything too. Look at all of that gorgeous veggies. Oh my gosh. Beautiful.
Grab that one
from the back side. Did it go in?
Yeah.
This is so delicious. I just had a fantastic nap and I'm feeling very good. I am also just about to drink a big giant mug actually, of Earl Grey tea. And I get asked all the time how I have so much energy to get all of the things that I get done on our homestead, and the afternoon nap and going to bed fairly early and a fair bit of Earl Grey tea are what I do to keep my energy levels up. Even if I don't sleep, which I do usually, I'll usually sleep for around 20 minutes or so. I always lay down, so we have an hour of time where we call it quiet time in our house, but where everybody kind of goes off and does something quietly on their own, and it really helps us all to recharge and to get enough energy to continue on with the day. So let me show you what I have going on here. Right here, I have washed basil. Over here, I have washed garlic scapes. My daughter went out and picked all those for me, and I am going to get them into the freeze dryer. And if I don't have enough to fill all 4 trays, then I'll probably go out and harvest some more oregano, maybe some thyme, maybe some tarragon, and we'll make sure that the freeze dryer is full. I love the freeze dryer for herbs. They come out so fresh smelling, and putting them in an airtight container, I just know that when I crack that jar open midwinter, it's going to smell just as it did when it went into that jar. So that's awesome. I've been using the freeze dryer mostly for herbs since the summer started, but I imagine I'll start putting more vegetables and fruit into it as the season picks up, as the canning season here in our area picks up. Okay, let's get all of this basil onto the tray. So with the basil, I'm just taking it off the stem, putting it in like this, and then I will grind it all up in my Vitamix when it comes out of the freeze dryer. But what I'm going to do with the scapes is actually just put them all right in here and blend them up before I put them into the freeze dryer. So I haven't tried doing it this way before, but I think it's gonna work. We're probably gonna need to add just a little bit of water to it. So there's tray 1. Tray 2. Okay, let's bring these down to the freeze dryer. So I've closed the drain on the side here, and now we click continue, and it's now freezing. To save on the freeze dryer time, I could have pre-frozen, especially not with the herbs, you don't need to do it with herbs, but with the blended up scapes, but I didn't, so they're gonna freeze now. All right, my friends, that is it for today's video. I am going to head back out to the garden and start taking care of those weeds in the carrot patch. I'm hoping that within the next 3 or 4 days, I will have the weeds taken care of for the year. Usually after July, I don't do a ton of weeding. The plants are usually big enough to shade out the ground, and the weeds usually aren't a huge issue. So within the next couple of days, I will take you on a full garden tour and show you how the garden is looking. I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye.